got a rockin' pneumonia and a boogie woogie flu. Want some loving, baby, that ain't all. I wanna kiss her, but the gal's too tall.
No, I don't wanna do an intro with you.
Hey, ever.
Nobody does an intro. What do you think Chris Isaac looks like now?
I've got no clue.
Oh, I don't think you have a clue who Chris Isaac is.
No, I know who he is. Isn't he? He's really thin, dude.
Keep going.
Right? I think I'm thinking of the right person. Gosh, now I can't picture what his hair looks like.
Oh, that's the most distinctive thing about him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's doing a great job.
Okay,
so.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
You're on a beach.
Piano.
With Helena, what's her name? The Swedish model. Mm-hmm. And you're rolling around.
Yeah.
Really? And then also you're sitting. How about Baby Did a Bad Thing?
I can't picture it.
Oh my God! All right, we got to table this because we're talking about that second. But we will be back if I remember to talk about that.
All right.
Right now you're not having fun.
No.
Are you embarrassed that you don't remember what Chris Isaac looks like?
Maybe a little bit.
What?
Okay,
all right. This terrible radio.
Yeah.
But if Stern can do it, we can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's actually just let's give it to the robot.
Give it to the robot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Isaac. Guess I don't have to yell. We'll get to that too. Okay. All right. Yeah, he just looks like somebody's dad now.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But he's got that like button nose, like a caricaturist was like, I'm just kind of screwing around here. This is an ash can. I'm throwing this away. And then he's got the bouffant sort of hairdo because his whole thing is.
Yeah.
He was kind of out ahead of the. He's a style maker. He's out ahead of the
throwback to the 50s.
The 50s
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy or Squirrel Nut Zippers or whatever.
Right. Well, I thought that was
we
more
had nothing
like,
to worry about back then, and things got weird.
I thought that was more of that to the like the 30s or the 40s.
Or was it more like a Weimar Germany thing? Did we see maybe even unconsciously the hammer coming down, and so we were just going crazy and just doing all kinds of stuff?
I got no clue.
I want to go swing dancing.
Yeah, I know, right?
With my best girl.
Yeah, I know.
Her bobby socks are in the shop. But
I swing dancing was huge. It was absolutely huge. I mean,
you don't have to tell me.
I know.
For some reason, that was okay. That was okay for Christians to do. So
really,
ran into a lot of swing dancing.
That's kind of surprising.
In my time.
Why is that okay, but other dancing isn't?
Well, it wasn't. God, we're gonna talk about that too. All right, let's just get to your dumb movie, and then we'll talk about mine.
Whoa!
It's COVideos. We're talking about films for quarantainment, and we had brunch at a restaurant today, so I think we officially have to decide whether to rebrand or die. So that we'll table that.
Okay.
And stay 6 feet apart as we think about where we're gonna go in the future for the show. But right now, we're watching films, both classic and modern.
Yep.
Neither of these really fit that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What was your movie that you picked?
I picked a movie called The Rundown. Or Welcome to the Jungle, I found out, is the international title for the film.
Because a rundown in the UK means you hit somebody with your car.
Oh, well, I guess I can understand why they would want to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they changed that. In Europe, it's called that. And then it was originally supposed to be called Hell Dorado.
Oh, my gosh. I'm kind of glad they changed it, though.
They really doubled down on some of the themes.
Yeah.
That was the concept.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. I get that that's the concept.
So 2003, it stars The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who I think is just comfortable going by The Rock now, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he's just given up, and that's good. And also Sean William Scott, remember him?
Yep.
And Rosario Dawson and Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Doing his best Christopher Walken impression.
Which is fantastic.
We are at a high level of walking in this film.
Yeah, we're walking here.
Yeah, we're walking here. Power, speed walking.
So I picked this movie You actually, I don't remember what episode it was on, but we were doing an episode of COVideos, and you were telling me about it, and you were telling me that I needed to see it. And I put it
but
on
not
my
for
list.
this show, though.
Oh, okay.
I think you should go back to the AFI list or the IMDb.
Oh, all right.
Because,
okay.
Come on.
All right.
This movie was, it's a Universal picture, but it was executive produced by Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm. I will tell you what the movie is about, but I think it's interesting to note that the movie, in the movie, The Rock's character has to do one last job.
Yep.
Which you want to talk about the one last job trope, and I won't take that away from you, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. For his shitty boss.
Yeah.
And I think this is like The Rock doing one last job for his shitty boss,
right.
Vince McMahon, in making this film. It was directed by Peter Berg. How can I help you?
I got nothing.
Peter Berg is... he's never done anything good in his life, except maybe this.
Okay.
He was the star of Shocker. He's Football Practice.
Okay.
Remember Shocker?
I'm
more Mr. Nice Guy.
I remember Shocker, but it's like...
He was the dorky kid who was the main character.
Okay.
Very bad actor. Learned that early on. Began directing movies. Or if you like Friday Night Lights. He did the movie and then he produced the TV show.
Oh, okay, sure.
But other than that, nothing. He did a 30 for 30 on Wayne Gretzky and had to put himself in the thing, which is just...
Why do you do that?
He's an egomaniac, and now he makes Mark Wahlberg, Christian movies. He made the Boston bombing movie. He made the Mile 22. That's the you be careful, bro, like that.
I didn't.
Yeah, so
okay,
he just...
Maybe I'm not up on my Mark Wahlberg. I didn't know he was doing Christian films.
Yeah, well, like inspirational, patriotic stuff.
Okay, all right.
You be careful, bro.
Yeah. Careful.
Here's what the rundown's about. The rundown stars The Rock as Beck, who is an enforcer, a mob enforcer, but wants to be a chef.
Yeah.
He is tasked to do one last job for his crappy boss, track down his boss's crappy son, who is somewhere in Brazil in a mining town. So The Rock, this is The Rock. The Rock goes down there and thinks it's going to be easy. He's going to snatch and grab him. Turns out, not that easy. Christopher Walken is the guy that runs the mine, and he is working the townspeople to death. Mm-hmm. And the Rock meets Rosario Dawson, who is a bartender, but is also the leader of the rebels by night. Sean William Scott fancies himself in a Nathan Drake type adventurer,
right?
And he's looking for this thing called the gato, which is this Mayan artifact or something like that.
Gold
I guess
cat.
it'd be Incan, and he wants it for fame and money, and Rosario Dawson wants it because they can sell it and buy back the town, basically, and run Christopher Walken out.
Right. And
hijinks ensue.
Yeah, boy, do they.
Lots of hijinks.
Yeah.
Monkey-related hijinks.
Yes.
Monkey shines, if you will.
Yeah, oh my God.
Well, you wanted to watch it.
I did.
Here we are.
Here we are.
What'd you think?
It was okay. I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's not I wouldn't call it like a good film necessarily.
The Rock had been in so many crappy movies and this one is light. It goes down really easy.
Yeah, it does.
It's a fruity summer wine, and I think I probably saw it like 4 times in the theater because I was so excited that like The Rock was in something cool.
Yeah.
And then I owned it for a while on DVD. I don't know where it went. Now I watch it and I'm like, yeah, this isn't that great, but it's got a lot of charm. It
does. It has a lot of charm. You like Beck. He's really funny. I think I'd seen clips of this, or either I'd seen clips of this, or you've told me about it. Because so basically stuff goes wrong, right? Like he's going to take Sean William Scott's character back to America and everything, to his dad.
You get 2 options: option A, option B.
Right. Yeah. Right. And on their way back to the airstrip, as he's handcuffed, Sean William Scott decides, screw this, and they're on they're driving on some mountain road,
jungle roads, where there's a mountain on one side and a cliff on the other.
Cliff with water on the other side. So he decides he's just gonna kick him as freaking hard as he can. And so he kicks him, and then not only does he go out of the car, the entire car rolls, and they both go out of the Jeep and are rolling for a very long time down this mountain.
There's a scene in Hot Rod Lonely Island movie?
Yeah.
Where Andy Samberg's character, is in the woods training, and then he falls down a thing and he rolls comically down this hill. It just goes on and on. And that's like a world where that's not a real world. Ian McShane is like wrestling him and stuff. This is about as long, and this is a plausibly real world, I think.
Yes.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Well, and then, like, they finally land in the water, and as they're kind of, like, catching their breath, they see the car rolling towards them.
I don't know how they went faster than the car.
I don't either, but that was like, what? So it
it's
just
a good button. It's a good button for that scene. Yeah.
It is. And it just, so then they're, like, without a car, and they're lost in the jungle. Like, neither of them really knows where they are. And it just gets worse.
Yeah.
So I mean,
get out of here, monkey.
I gotta say,
get
for
here,
that
monkey.
part of it, I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're arguing in the woods, and like Sean William Scott has to pee. So
You threatened me? You threatened me with pee?
Yeah, right. And like he's trying to get the Rock to unzip his pants because he can't do that. His hands are tied behind his back.
Yeah.
And so he finally relents, and then he's like, "Oh, I can't get it out," and he was like, and somehow he's able to shake himself free and pee. And while he's doing that, the Rock is walking around, and he steps in a trap that it's like a rope that like pulls him up into the tree, so he's hanging upside down, from a rope. And then Sean William Scott like makes fun of him. His keys fall out, so he's able to unhook his hands and everything. And then he gets caught in a trap. And then these very scary monkeys show up with really sharp fangs, who apparently are very horny. And they're terrified. And one of them jumps on them and starts humping the Rock's face, which is horrible. And then the rebels show up and shoot a gun to scare the monkeys. The monkeys go away. They set him free. Sean William Scott's like, "Oh, no, I know these guys. They're my friends." Next thing we see, they're tied up against a tree. And the Rock's like, "Oh, they're your friends, huh?" and then, like...
It's relentless.
It is.
Yeah.
And then Sean William Scott can speak Portuguese, but The Rock can't. So it just gets worse and worse. So that part of the film I liked. I think that there were some parts of it that were charming. Like Sean William Scott, for some reason, thinks he can take The Rock, like being like it's not even like he knows martial arts. Like he acts like he kind of does. Well, he's like, "Ooh, the thunder and the lightning," you know what I mean? And he like shakes his hands or his legs, and The Rock's just like, he does this a couple of times, and every time he does it, The Rock's like, "What the heck do you think you're doing?"
Yeah.
So I like that too. I think that they played well off of each other.
Yeah, it's The Rock is. He's a much better actor now.
Yeah, he is.
He's not bad in this, but there's not a lot of like tonality and kind of layers to what he's doing. It's clear that he's just like, I'm mad right now, or I'm consternated over what's going on,
right?
Or like, I gotta do this and that. And he's surrounded by Sean William Scott and Rosario Dawson and all these like real deal actors who have much less to play than he does, but they're playing it better. And so he's not bad, but
no.
Now he's in something, and he's still not super great, but he's better.
Yeah,
he's better in Skyscraper, for example.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like, and it's funny because The Rock, I feel, could do like Central Intelligence. I don't know how much money that movie made, but I bet it did okay.
Right.
And they'll definitely go see him in a car movie, but they just were not coming out in 2003. This movie didn't do good, and it cost $85 million to make.
Whoa!
Yeah, now,
why? Because they went to the
shot
jungle
in Brazil for some of it. Yeah,
I bet that was a lot of it, shooting on location.
And they had a lot of cows or whatever. That's a lot of cows.
That's a lot of cows.
But yeah, I don't know why it cost that much. So it made like 80 million or so. I mean, if it had cost half that, run down too, right?
Right.
But yeah, this was not. I don't know. There's 4 production companies, so maybe they were.
Whoa!
Maybe they
That's
were.
a lot.
Well, one of them was WW Films, of course.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that's too bad. But I mean, this is like up before this, he was in like Doom or something like that, or Get Shorty, the sequel to Get Shorty. Get music. Get rhythm.
Be Cool. Was
Be
that
Cool.
it?
Wow. Nice grab.
I don't know how I pulled that one out.
Real Elmore Leonard fan over here.
Not really.
And he's in that, and he's just cast for novelty. It's not. But yeah, this is like, you can see, an action star budding here, and so could Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right?
Because he agreed to be in a cameo, which is just so weird.
It was so weird.
But it's it's like this torch passing where he goes into the movie, the club at the beginning of the movie, and Arnold's there. He's like, "Have fun."
Was he like trying to shake down the kid before and then like gave up, or was it just purely?
No, I think he had just been sent out to get this guy, and that was something else I liked about that scene too. I think that, and Berg has said this before, like he was offered this film. He had made one film before this, Very Bad Things, which is a very bad movie. Don't bother. And he I don't know, he looked at other movies or something, and he's like, what do we even do? Like, everything has been done in an action movie, and I think that's a little like presumptuous to say.
Yeah.
But he's not necessarily wrong, and so that's why so many of the scenes in this movie just have weird elements to them, and they're trying to think outside the box. And so we've seen a guy, take on 6 guys in a club many times. But I like the idea that Beck doesn't like. I mean, clearly he's an enforcer because the guy's 6'3" and he's 300 pounds or whatever. But
right.
He doesn't like pushing people around. He doesn't like.
He doesn't like it.
And he does a really bad job of kind of making it clear to this guy that owes money that he needs to. You need to give me the ring as collateral, and you need to come talk to my boss.
Right.
But the guy's a quarterback, and his whole defensive line or offensive line is with him.
Yes.
And so they go through, and The Rock's like, this guy's Jonathan Tamalian or whatever, and he's like all pro rusher, and we go through all the guys, and you see, okay, now we've buffed these guys up, like these are tough guys. And then later on, when it becomes clear that he's going to have to do some damage, he's telling his boss, he's like, are you sure there's no other way? They have a great chance of repeating this year. I don't want to screw that up for them.
Yeah.
It's just like little things like that. It just give it so much character. Or bad example, the henchman of Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any. In fact, the copy that we watched, I thought he had a final confrontation with Sean William Scott. I don't know if that was cut out, or if I'm just imagining it, because he just kind of disappears from the film. But just the idea that he's he's the number one guy for Christopher Walken, but he's he gets his nose broken.
Yes.
And they put that there just to make it kind of funny, but they don't ever really do anything with it.
Right. It doesn't really come back.
Yeah. But Christopher Walken's like, oh, they got my gato. I feel like a little girl who's lost a tooth, and the tooth fairy's coming. It's just like, what?
I know. It was so great. And he's saying,
do they understand what a tooth fairy is?
Yeah,
Do you know the concept of the tooth fairy?
Yeah. Speaking of things that maybe we haven't seen before, that reminded me of I think why this came up while we were talking about COVideos, I can't remember what film it was, but it was the idea that you don't want him to use a gun because bad things happen when he uses a gun. So the entire film is I don't like guns, I don't want to use them, but they're getting their butts whooped, and Sean William Scott's probably going to die if he doesn't pick up a gun. So it's a big deal. Yeah. So he finally does, and man, he kills a lot of people, and it's 2 guns at the same time. Yeah. It's crazy, 2 big guns. And that whole thing is crazy, but as part of that huge climactic fight scene, there are some guys. So they're in this mining town, right? Yeah. And there are some guys that are standing on this roof of this one building that's over an open porch or something like that. Yeah. And the way that The Rock deals with them is he literally goes underneath there and breaks the support beams. Well, first some of them are wood, but not all of them. Some of them are plaster.
Yeah, he's in the next building, and they're shooting at him, and he's out of bullets. So he jumps through the window, and blows through one of the brick support column of the thing they're standing on. Yeah. So that's already there's already shades of Fast and Furious in this. Yes. He's a superhuman, and his power is not using guns. Right. And And people like go, oh, The Rock's arm is broken in Fast 6, I think. And they're like, we got to go. And he's like, all right. And he just smashes his cast like off of his arm. And he's like, let's go. And people are like, what? Yeah, watch the rundown.
Right?
It's weird because the screenplay's by two people. The story is from a guy named R.J. Stewart. And also he helped on the screenplay, probably wrote the first draft. And I've never heard of this guy. And he's never really done anything. He used to, I think he worked on like Xena for a while.
Okay.
So that might be where we get the action and the kind of comedic sensibilities.
Sure.
And now I think he's doing like a Xena porn parody. So
Whoa.
things are going great.
Okay.
And then the other guy is James Vanderbilt. Here are some movies that he has written. Now, it says Zodiac, but I'm sure more than one person worked on Zodiac.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
In fact, let's just click over. We got the internet. Nope. Says him.
Oh, okay.
So he had one good movie in him.
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Uh-huh.
Independence Day Resurgence.
Uh-oh.
He's going to write the upcoming Scream 5. So
What?
I know that they're not all going to be winners, but where did this script come from?
Yeah, right.
You get the feeling a lot of it was improvisation, but
It couldn't completely have been.
No.
I mean, you at least have like the main points and everything. So
I really like the idea of it's Heart of Darkness.
yeah,
And they they do that. They hit it a little hard at the end because Christopher Walken, when he's being surrounded by the townspeople, he's like, I'm the heart in your darkness. This doesn't work without me. But they show us like the mine, which it's CG, but it's pretty good CG, and it's Boschian. It looks like hell.
yeah,
And of course,
yeah.
we hit that on the nose too because he's like, "What do you see, Mr. Beck?" And he's like, yeah, "It looks like hell."
Right.
And so I like that idea of the story of an American I assume he's American colonizer coming in and doing something that he could have got away with in the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Yeah,
But
right.
he's just doing it now.
Yeah.
There's no international news agencies. I guess this is before Twitter, but nobody can send an email. Things are really bad here.
Yeah, apparently not. Well, I don't think any of the people who worked in the mines had.
It'd probably be a
internet
government mine
access.
now. Bolsonaro would be running it.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, so I like that kind of political aspect. It's really underdeveloped. We see Ernie Reyes Jr. As the leader of the rebels, doing hey, Kansas City, they're trying to fight the Rock and everything.
Yeah, right.
So we get a real sense of what the struggle is right before they're all killed. There's I remember what I was going to say. The broken nose guy
Yeah.
starts tooting on a harmonica as we're waiting for
Yes!
the final showdown to happen.
So random.
But I think it fits because it's just a weird character thing, and it sort of
Yeah.
cuts the silence. And then Declan comes in, and
Yes.
he's blowing on bagpipes.
True.
And so it's like, you've got your harmonica, I've got my bagpipes.
Right.
The righteousness of God is behind us. Let's talk about Declan.
Let's.
Played by Ewan Bremer.
Yep.
Who, what's he doing now?
I don't know. Was he in Trainspotting too?
Oh, that's a good. See the thing. I waited so long for Trainspotting 2, then I never saw it when it
I
came out. 'cause
know.
people
I'm
said
in
it
the same
sucked.
boat.
Yeah. But anyway, he's great, and he should be in more stuff.
He
But
should.
does the screenwriter or Peter Berg know what Scotland is? Because
Right.
his
And
character,
yeah.
the actor is Scottish. In
Yes.
fact, that's maybe we don't need Scottish people right now. Because he just plays He's played Scottish when he plays in roles.
Yeah.
But his name is Declan, which is an Irish name.
Uh-huh.
There's a 4-leaf clover on his plane.
Right.
And one of those
Definitely Irish.
oval stickers for Ireland, like on his fridge at his shack.
Yeah.
He's got a kilt on, and he's playing pipes when he shows up at the end.
Scottish.
Scottish kilt. Irish have pipes.
Do they?
You just don't hear about it as much.
Okay.
But yeah. And he quotes Dylan Thomas, who's Welsh.
Yeah.
So does Peter Berg know that the United Kingdom is a united group of kingdoms?
Yeah, I don't know that that's clear
Does
to
he?
them.
Does he get what Great Britain is? Yes.
He apparently forgot to throw England in there somewhere.
Well, I mean, he's got an
so,
accent.
Yeah, well.
So I just thought that was kind of weird. I like the character. Again, it's a
Yeah.
character who, small part, but just a lot of depth just to that small part.
I like that when he comes in at the climactic scene at the end, that he's playing the bagpipes and he's supposed to be the distraction.
Also, he's religious.
Yeah.
But he seemed like kind of like evangelical and hellfiery. So he's a Protestant
Right.
Irish guy.
Right.
So is that mainland Ireland or is that Northern Ireland?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
I thought it was a little strange. I mean, maybe this is just supposed to be funny. So they're about to fight, or they are fighting, and he sits down and gets a beer like served to him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. But then, like, during the midst of the fight, he sits there and drinks that beer. Doesn't not need to take cover, at all, and like doesn't help with the fighting at all, even in maybe a non-violent way. I don't know how he feels about violence, so I don't know.
It's a cartoon.
I know. I thought it was a little strange.
The whole movie's a cartoon.
It is, and I did like Christopher Walken being Christopher Walken, and
my horror.
That was
for
great.
That beauty. I'm hot in the darkness. Yeah. I don't like Peter Berg. We've talked about this, but I liked the visual style and pacing of this film as well. I think it would, both at the time and probably now, get criticized for being too cutty, that MTV style. And you told on yourself, film critic, you're clearly over 55, because who says MTV style of cutting? Right. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I say that. But I liked it, and I liked the Beck vision too, because Beck is a smart guy. He doesn't like his job, but he's good at it, and so he comes into a situation like when Christopher Walken, he first meets him, and he's like, come in, Mr. Beck, and the door from the cabin that he was in opens, and he's looking at him, but he's also looking behind him to the row of guns, and so he sees. Yeah. Suddenly, we see like just flat, straight shots of like AK-47, calibers, and he's like, okay, these guys got a lot of firepower. Or like in the final shootout, when he's trying to decide whether to use the guns, and he looks around, and we see like a guy extreme close up on his face, next to the muzzle of his gun, and he smiles, and he's got the gold teeth, and then he shoots, and the camera follows the bullet out, and then sort of turns around, and it hits the bus, and that was pretty cool.
I like that too, and I think that was really a neat way of doing visual storytelling through the lens of like seeing what he's seeing and taking it in, and like assessing the information. Kind of like they did that a little bit too in the beginning when he's in the club and he's about to approach the guy, right? With like the players, and he like focused in on them, and it was like all their info, like they were football players in a game. Here are their stats,
Would you recommend this?
I thought it was fun. Yeah, why the hell not?
I wish that it got, people say like that something should get its fair due or something that's underrated. This is underrated because nobody remembers it, and it's really hard to get on. Yeah. To find. On like a streaming service. Yeah. So I don't think that you will have wasted your evening if you try to track this movie down. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Some real prime Sean William Scott right there.
What happened with him? Where is he now?
From Minnesota.
I know he is.
Talk about it later. You ready to do this, baby? Ready to talk about my film?
I sure am, Sam.
Oh, yes. We're going to talk about Wild at Heart, a David Lynch movie from 1990 starring Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern, Willem Dafoe, and the entire cast of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I mean, I challenge. Well, Joan Chen.
There are people who are in Twin Peaks who are not in this, but there are a lot of people from Twin.
All right, certainly not everybody, but like a lot. Yeah. A lot. Yes. What happens in Wild at Heart?
So basically, the very first scene, a guy approaches Nicolas Cage at some sort of event. No. Nicolas Cage is thrown in jail for manslaughter. We fast forward to several years later, and
22 months.
22 months.
Important. Because she was 18 when they were dating.
Yeah, right. I know.
So you gotta get careful with the timekeeping.
He's dating Laura Dern, who's Lula, and his name is Sailor
Riley.
Yeah, right.
I first thought her name was Luna, and I was like, "Come on,
that would be weird."
Come on,
that would be weird. And so him and Lula, she picks him up, I think, directly from jail, and they pick up right where, much to her mother's chagrin, right where they left off. And her mother does not like him, like, at all.
So much so that she hires
somebody
to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And we later learn that like she had kind of like thrown herself at him.
Yes.
But anyways, so they're kind of like go on this road trip, and he what's the word? He's on parole, and he violates it.
They're going to California.
Yeah, they're going to California, and they are right in between the Carolinas by Cape Fear.
Right, so we're still in Cape Fear.
Yeah.
So crazy things happen.
Yeah.
Okay, the end.
Well,
we got a lot to talk about.
I know
we can't do another one of these 20-minute recaps. Like you tried to do it there. Did you just start telling us what happens in the rundown? Like somebody's mom who saw a movie she liked? And then there's this one part where he comes in to the bar and...
Look, there were just a lot of stuff that happened in a row, okay? All right.
This movie, I think in retrospect, although its Rotten Tomatoes score is still not very high, Metacritic 51, 52, I think.
Wow.
It is being reevaluated, as critics often do years after a film comes out. But at the time, mixed. We should do this on Crafted Services, if Crafted Services still existed. Lynch said that 80 people walked out of the first test screening, 100 in the second.
Whoa.
It got the Palme d'Or.
That's a lot.
The Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Wow.
But the audiences...
hated it.
Yeah. Hated it. And Diane Ladd was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Was that the mom?
Yes.
Okay.
And she should have been. She was great.
She was fantastic.
Other than that, it's weird. And
well, it's freaking David Lynch.
Well, there's a huge backstory to it, which I don't know, because I just saw this tonight.
Yeah.
Call yourself a David Lynch fan. Okay, all right, calm down.
Yeah.
You don't... The thing about David Lynch and a lot of my favorite filmmakers is they made a lot of films. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So once you've seen them all, the advent calendar, no more chocolate.
Yeah, right.
You ate it all.
Right.
So sometimes I slow play it a little bit.
Sure.
And, as far as, like, David Lynch masterpieces, this is not thought of as one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I put it off.
Yeah.
You ever get that thing where everyone you see is your new favorite? I think this is my new favorite.
Really?
This is awesome.
Yeah,
this movie is incredible.
It's good. It's really good.
It's so incredible. I remember at the time, in 1990, I read a review of this film, and the reviewer was, I don't know, 1990 Star Tribune reviewer, probably, whoever that was. Didn't like how dirty it was. Like it is...
Like physical dirt or like sex?
No, I mean like... Look, this movie, we figured out. This movie's got poop, puke, blood,
a lot of
brains,
maggots,
abortion aftermath, and pee. Just pee.
Yeah.
It's... it's gross.
It is very gross.
And he didn't like the close-up of the toilet or something like that, which is the least of the gross things that happens in this film.
There's nothing in it,
but
even. It's
just
not a
water.
mistake
that there's a toilet in it. It's, David Lynch is trying to create a world of grime. He's trying to show a noir, but like the dirty side of a noir, not just, angels with shitty faces, basically. Write that down. And we won't do the whole thing because we can't, but we have we'll get to it at the end of the show soon because it's coming up. Yep. We have a what we call the Bingos Lanthimos.
Yes.
Yorgos Lanthimos bingo board. We do have to do one for Lynch.
Yeah.
Because I'll be pointing it out as we talk about the film, but there are just things that he wants to do and he's going to do. And I don't know if it's branding or he's like Einstein in his suits. He doesn't care. But he loves that italicized sans serif font. That's in all of his films.
Yeah.
Lost Highway.
Right.
Wild at Heart. Whatever, Twin Peaks. Whatever it's called. He wants block font.
Yep.
A little italicization. And he likes swing music.
He loves swing music.
I bet he
loves music in general.
Oh,
but
definitely. Yeah. And Baladomeni did the music for this, obviously. But there's a lot of popular music in this as well.
Yes.
I bet he and Chris Isaac are buds. Don't you think?
I would not be surprised in the least. Was Chris Isaac?
He acts, but he's not in this, though. It would have been cool if he was.
Was he ever in a Lynch
That's a great question.
film? Because
he would
really fit in with that aesthetic.
Oh, no, of course he was. He was in...
Was he in... Fire Will Walk With Me?
Firewalk with Me,
Yeah, he was the first investigator.
She's my mother's sister's girl.
Yeah, right.
Can I
Right.
do the rest in David Lynch?
Yeah, if you must.
No, I'm not going to. But but this is great,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what to say. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about David Lynch in general.
Okay.
The movie is, I don't know, it's great and it's really crazy. It's about 20 minutes too long.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Would you cut anything out though? Would you cut the car crash scene out? What would you cut out?
I was thinking.
I might cut out the serial killers.
Yeah.
You know, Grace Zabriskie, Mrs. Palmer, is in this, and she plays like the thick-shoed
Yes.
serial killer who is just like, "Blah!" And,
Pretty
like,
much.
if Harry Dean Stanton just disappeared, I probably would have been okay with that.
I mean, I think it wasn't totally necessary at the very end of the film. I understand why it's there, but I don't think it's totally
For
necessary.
him to sing the entirety of "Love Me Tender."
Well, but I was going to say for him to walk away, get beat up by a gang, hit his head, see the good
see
way.
Cheryl Lee.
Yeah, see Cheryl Lee, and then go back to her. I think we could have lost that. I mean, we might. You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That's too good.
All right.
You were. I don't know. If I had known that it was going to end magically real like that with the full culmination of the Wizard of Oz illusions,
Yes.
I would have said put more Wizard of Oz illusions in the film.
I think there were a ton, though.
You say that, but like, sure, they say like we're going down that yellow brick road, baby. Or all right, but you could say that in any
They
movie.
mention
that
Emerald
doesn't end with
City.
literally Glinda the Good Witch showing up and a picture melting when it gets water on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she sees the witch flying. I don't
Yes.
know. I just felt like they
And they mentioned
could have
Emerald
made a
City,
character.
too.
Yeah, they call him a Tin Man or something like that.
She's
Why
wearing
not do
red-
a full on allegory? You know,
Well, they more or less did. I
Yeah,
mean, she's
clicking her heels
wearing
together. Yeah.
clipping her red heels
Can we talk?
together.
Since we're just jumping around, can we talk about her costumes or her wardrobe in the film?
Her outfits.
What did David Lynch tell the costumer? If I see her in a shirt, you're fired.
Yeah, so, pretty much.
What?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Just like a little leather. I wouldn't even call it a bustier. It's like a bikini top, and then she's wearing like a red lacy unitard, and then she's got like lacy dress that's barely even a dress. It's probably more like a negligee.
Yeah, it's Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yeah,
Fredericks
right.
of West
It's-
Hollywood.
That's who. It's a lot of lace and a lot of leather.
Yeah. Ooh. You want to sing a song? I'll be. No, you be Henley. I'll be Stevie Nicks. She's great in this too.
She is.
She's. Oh, that's probably when you're David Lynch. Have we talked about this?
I don't know.
David Lynch. This is an expression you don't hear anymore. David Lynch loves women.
I don't like.
He loves women.
I don't like that expression.
No, that's what somebody's
at all.
attorney says when they're trying to defend
No.
their client to the press. But I think he really does. But I think that he is really good to work for and with because people keep doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So part of me is like, I can't believe that he hasn't been Me Too'd yet. But because look at the women that are in his films. You have to be gorgeous to be in a David Lynch film.
Yeah.
He definitely he looks at the headshot before the resume.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, but I don't think. I don't know. Maybe as a David Lynch fan myself, I take it a little personally that you would say I can't believe he hasn't been Me Too'd yet, because just because he. I don't even want to use the phrase that you use. Just because he likes pretty actresses doesn't mean that he's handsy or abusive.
They often go hand in hand.
Not necessarily, though. I don't want to assume.
When he was working on Dune, this leads into another thing that I want to say. So he was working on Dune, right? That's where he met. No, he picked Kyle MacLachlan. Was Dune before or after Blue Velvet? Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
They're working
order.
on Dune together,
Yeah.
and speaking of somebody who, if he lived in America, would probably be Me Too'd, Dino De Laurentiis. He couldn't say Kyle. He kept saying Kale. Hey, Kale.
Oh no,
So David Lynch picked that up, and now he just calls
Kyle
MacLachlan
Kale.
Okay, Kale, you stand over here.
Oh my
He has
God.
nicknames for all of his actors.
Okay, I can see that.
I was watching a video on YouTube where they got Naomi Watts and the girl that's in this movie, whose name I just suddenly forgot for some
Laura
reason.
Dern?
Laura Dern.
Yeah.
And somebody else. Oh, of course, Patricia Arquette.
Oh, okay, sure.
And they're just talking about their experiences with him, and it's so funny, they all have their own impression of him. Watts is perfect. It's better than mine. And they've all talked about like the nicknames that he has for them and stuff. So he's great to work with. But,
Yeah.
you know, a guy who's like, that's another thing that would be on our bingo square. There's definitely, in almost every Lynch movie, there is a woman who is not an actress.
Yeah, yeah,
He just went to like Hollywood Boulevard and like, want to be in a movie?
yeah.
Actually, you don't even have to do that in Hollywood. Like, I'm sure like 90% of the people you see are just there to, you know, road test their new boob job.
Yeah.
And try to get into movies.
Sure.
And like when he's, this is a weird scene, but like when Cage is telling Lula about this girl that he like banged one time.
Yeah,
And we don't know if it's true or not. It could just be because she seems to, this is like a game for them. Like they turn each other on. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it's just a story he's telling. But that like actress is like, eat some peach.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Clearly not an actress.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, with people like that in your movies, all your actions are beautiful. You've been married 4 times. Like, he's, you know.
I guess.
Okay, Tidbit, we're ready for you.
Oh my goodness.
But that's it's fine.
Nicolas Cage, of course, is great in this as well.
Cage and Lynch.
Yeah.
Never again.
Oh, really?
I don't know what other Lynch movies has he been in.
I don't think he's been in any other ones.
No.
I don't know why.
I don't know if he fits.
Oh, really?
Well, this is a question I want to ask you. There are some, usually like the main characters in a Lynch thing are crazy. They have peccadillos, they have personalities. Then Lynch likes to populate the rest of the world with very actors and actresses, I'm sure, but very more normal looking actors and actresses. So like in Mulholland Falls.
Mulholland Drive? Or
there is a movie called Mulholland Falls. It's
Okay.
terrible. Mulholland Drive, where the assassin guy goes to kill the guy and then get his book or whatever, and then he shoots like through the wall accidentally and hits the lady in the thing.
Yes.
That lady's not. She just looks like a lady. Now I'm sure she's a
yeah.
working actress, but his either him or his casting guy is like really good at picking these normal people.
Yes.
Stick Cage is a movie star. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So does he work in this world? Does he fit in this world? Because Laura Dern is doing a thing where she's still, because she's such a great actress, she's still relatable and believable, and you want to root for her. But clearly, Lynch told her, "All right, in every scene, I want people to see you like this, with you put your hands up on the top of your head."
I know.
And you go, ooh, ooh, and whether you're crying, you're happy, or you're scared, or you're pooping, I want to see that. That's like the character's touchstone. We just keep going back to like her doing this, sort of pin-up sort of pose.
Yeah.
It's just, the artificiality is crazy. And
Yes.
Nick Cage, for all the crazy stuff he does, it's all honest. He doesn't have that alienation. Everything he does is like 100% commit town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
guess.
I don't know if maybe as the central character, I don't know if he works in a Lynch film.
I think as a central character, I think he works. Nothing he didn't do anything that like pulled me out of Lynch's world in this. I mean, I think he was weird and he did a lot of weird things and weird actions and said weird things, but also reacted to weird things around him. And I think he worked well. So that's just my opinion.
Did you feel like this was a non-funny Raising Arizona?
Oh,
Although
man.
this movie is very funny, and Raising Arizona I wouldn't call a comedy necessarily, although it is also very funny. Didn't it? It felt like, he starts off, he's in prison, he gets out, and he's like, I want to do right by you, baby, and then he gets sucked into like committing another crime, and then he goes back to prison.
I need to rewatch that movie because I saw it so many years ago.
We were just missing
and
what's his name? Tex not Tex Avery. What's his name?
I
The big guy.
I got nothing. Like I
Warthog
said,
from
I need
hell.
to rewatch it. So
How we doing on time? I got about 15 minutes. We got to blow through this.
okay.
I don't know what else to say. Anything you can think of to say, do it. But like we said, music is very important to this film. They go out dancing
Yes.
in between one of their many, many F sessions.
Yes.
And some guy, starts to dance with this girl. And then he's like, you got to apologize to my girl. And the band stops. And he's like, you guys know this one? What? They started singing back up for him.
That was great.
There's always some low tier organized crime going on in the background of Lynch movies. There's always somebody who, is a killer or assassin or something, but they don't, they got a suit, but not like a really nice car. Like Frank only wants ether. Do you know what I mean? And to and his mommy, I guess. But you don't imagine that whatever their criminal enterprise is like going to the moon or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, but that's always an element to his films as well.
I want to mention Willem Dafoe real quick too.
Man.
So he's got third billing, and we don't see him till probably more than halfway through the film almost. And God, he's so slimy in this, and you just you do not like him at all. He's got slick back hair, horrible teeth, and he's just
little corn teeth,
slimy
baby corn teeth,
and gross, and he's horrible to both Sailor and Lulu.
By
oh
my
God.
theory, he might not fit either, even though he is, Cage is just being kind of a amped up version of the Nick Cage character.
Yeah.
But he's going the whole way. Mm-hmm. But he's also totally, when Jack Nance does something, you're like, oh, he's playing an old, funny, weird character, who's got a dog or whatever. But Willem Dafoe just goes in 100%. He just dives in.
Right.
Jesus has a sketchy mustache.
Yeah, he has a sketchy thin
but he's
mustache.
so I don't know. I just want to see him in anything. Maybe to me, I feel like this movie is the least David Lynchy movies of David Lynch movies that I've seen so far. The story is fairly straightforward. One of the things I love,
it is,
I love his
actually.
when he cuts to I don't know if he's done this in other films. I guess I have to watch closer. But when she's talking about her father dying.
Yes.
In the fire, he shows us the character's thoughts. And it's not just, I don't know what happened that night at the dance hall or whatever, but he does. And then we see a flashback where, her mom pulls him into the bathroom stall or whatever. Mm-hmm. We do have stuff like that, but we also have one scene or one shot flashbacks. So she's, ostensibly happy at the beginning of their journey, but she's thinking about, the hurts
Unhappy
in her life.
Times, yeah.
And it cuts to that shaky shot, of the building burning. And there's one part where I think it's when they're playing Wicked Game, because they're in bed, but she talks about the night that her father died, and it cuts to, intermittently cuts to him, rolling around the house when he's on fire.
Yeah.
And it's like another movie is pushing into the one we're watching, because it isn't just Wicked Game is under the whole thing, and then we kind of fade to that scene. We go to that scene we're skipping to another part of the movie. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack stops from where we were.
Yeah.
The sound, ambient sound, and the soundtrack is now in that movie. And then as soon as we see whatever he wants us to see, then we slip back in. Wicked thing to do, and it's just weird. It's not just a character having a revelry. It's like chunks of it's like somebody fed the projector wrong, or they cut everything up.
Right.
Out of order.
Well, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. Throughout the film, there were a couple of times where we would be focusing on Sailor and Lulu, and then we would go to her mom or Santos or whatever horrible things were going on with them, and we would cut back intermittently, and again the soundtrack would stick with the characters that we were with, and it did kind of feel like that, similar to that, in that it almost felt like it was two different films.
It's like footnoting almost.
Yeah, because
oh yeah, this is what happened in the bathroom. Okay,
right,
we're back to the scene.
Right, because Sailor and Lulu they're listening to music and they're kind of dancing goofy in the car and they're having a real good time. Her mom is putting lipstick all over her face and having a real freak out.
Clairol clown, yeah.
And is trying to tell Santos to call the whole thing off. He's not listening, and it's really seriously beyond freaked out. So yeah.
I have one moment I want to point out, and then we're going to go do our Bingo Slanthamos here. And that is, I think that very often David Lynch films are very funny, but it's a humor of situation and absurdity. And there aren't a lot of good bits or jokes.
Sure.
And there's a great joke that's just so perfectly. I wonder what it would be like if he did a straight comedy.
I don't know.
But they're in bed and they're smoking and they're talking about brands and when the first time they started smoking was. Quentin Tarantino must have jerked off a million times in the scene. And she asks Sailor when he first started smoking, and he says, I don't know. And he pauses and doesn't talk for a little while.
Right.
And it's because Lynch knows that the audience they're into this ridiculous vibe. So we're kind of already putting a number together in our heads, that we're waiting to hear.
Yeah.
And I thought it's going to be 8. I bet it's 8. It's going to be ridiculous,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He goes, guess it was about 4. So it sets you up. It makes you do that little homework, and then it goes boom. It goes even farther down.
Yeah,
it's just a really great joke.
No, it's good.
I don't know what else to say. Morgan Shepherd is in this. The late great Morgan Shepherd, and he plays Mr. Reindeer, one of another archetype in the Lynch film, the eccentric man.
Yeah.
If it's a cowboy,
He's super
if it's just
eccentric.
effing Robert Blake, the scariest thing in the world in your house, call me. No, I'm not going to call you.
Yeah.
Call your wife. It's he's great. The old lady from Happy Gilmore, who's also was the old lady in Twin Peaks too. With the kid or her nephew or whatever, grandson.
Crispin Glover is in this.
Crispin Glover is that okay? So we were talking about what we'd cut. Oh boy, I don't want to cut Dave, but or Dale, but it has the least to do with anything. Yeah, she just starts telling this story about
her cousin
who is not
mentally
delusional.
unwell.
And he wants it to be Christmas all the time, and he freaks out when it's not Christmas, and he's cutting up sandwiches in the middle of the night and puts a cockroach up his butt, and it's like, is that Crispin Glover? It's Crispin Glover.
I know.
This is my favorite David Lynch movie. There are 25 squares. Only 24 of them are full because the center square is free parking or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Here we go. Bingos Lanthamos for Wild at Heart. Unsexy sex. I think sexy scenes are pretty hot.
I think they're hot, so I don't think we can...
Are we keeping track?
Oh, do you want me to just do a tally?
Yeah, do a tally.
Okay. Wild at Heart.
Yeah, this movie's really gross in a lot of places, but yeah, the sex scenes work.
Yeah, I think so.
Stilted dialogue. I don't think so. I think all of Lynch's characters are all well-spoken for the most part.
They might say crazy or horrible things,
but
I
they
think
all say them well.
Yeah, right.
And that's true of all his films. Head drama, absolutely.
That is a yes.
Boy, Willem Dafoe goes out hard.
Yeah, right? And the guy in the beginning, too.
Adults acting like children.
I think so.
Dale.
Yeah, right.
Making up a game. I can't believe we got the T-shirts printed, and I'm still not happy with this. What this means exactly.
Well, making up a game.
I mean, Dale does put. Oh, you know what? Dale's going to save us. I wanted to cut him, and he's going to save us on the Bingos Lanthamos board.
Oh my gosh.
He puts a
cockroach up his butt.
A cockroach in his butt.
That's a game. Okay, sure, why not?
He seemed to enjoy it.
He likes to think that it's Christmas all the time. So
violent punishment.
I mean, there's a lot of violence, but I don't
think just off of that.
But I don't know that there's violent
the gang
punishment.
That North Carolina Vato gang.
Yeah, right.
by the aqueduct.
Yeah.
That North Carolina aqueduct.
Yeah.
They kick the crap out of him for no reason. Well, he calls them homosexual slurs. But,
yeah, right.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, okay, all right, I'll put it down.
Body horror. Yes,
I think so.
When Sherilyn Fenn is digging around in her head wound.
Yeah.
At the car accident scene.
Yeah.
Which I would cut that. Sorry, Sherilyn.
Or what about the other car accident scene we see later, and then there's just
I don't know what that was.
That was so random,
Somebody's
right?
gotta explain that to me.
Yeah.
Inane discussions about material objects. There is. All of their pillow talk is the aforementioned cigarette brand
Yeah, I guess.
scene.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of Lynch characters, have weird fixations on.
Yeah, that's
things.
true.
It's a blue rose. Flat affect. They're all pretty animated characters.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Bribery.
Yes. At the very beginning of the film,
Well, that's
Laura Dern's mom gives money to a guy to try to murder
more like
Nick
hiring
Cage.
somebody.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bribing is specifically like, I'll give you. It could
This,
be even like
if you do this.
could be
right.
sexual bribery.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything
I don't
in
think there
here.
is. You're right. Awkward dancing, which I would call it erotic. I don't know if I'd call it awkward.
Well, it's not, like, good.
Okay.
What about when they're dancing in the
Outside
desert?
the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it. Misnaming things or people.
I don't think so.
Well, again, what's misnaming exactly? He calls her Peanut.
Well, that I think is a very... But that's like a nickname. That's like a...
It is my game. I made it up.
I said it's a nickname.
Mark it down.
Oh, wow. You want me to mark it down? I'll
yeah,
mark it
I do.
down. All right.
Identity erasure. I don't really think so.
No.
I don't think so. Although she does color her lipstick face up.
Yeah, I know, but she seems to be relatively okay after that.
Yeah.
So
Self-mutilation. I don't think explicitly.
I don't think anybody.
Not explicitly.
No.
Inappropriate family interaction. Dead air.
Huh?
Dead air.
I don't think so.
It's dead air. The air is dead.
I don't think so. Her mother and her do not have a healthy relationship,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's inappropriate necessarily.
No, you're wrong. What about Uncle Pooch? Mark it down.
Not her uncle. She says that. He's
All
not
right.
really her uncle.
All right, but come on. Okay, fine. American culture intrusion. This is all
This is definitely
wrapped,
a Yorgos.
like all Lynch films are wrapped in American
Americana.
culture. Could he ever make a movie set in another country, I wonder?
I think that would
Push
be...
yourself.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to. No. My films are about America. Care to elaborate? No. You hate this one.
Uh-oh.
Stickers. Any sticker? There's a horse clock radio.
There is a horse clock radio.
But are there any stickers?
I don't think there's any stickers.
I don't think so either. Predatory authority figures.
Yes.
Who?
I mean, would you call the guy who's not her uncle an authority
No.
figure?
Okay, fine. I'll take that one.
There you go.
Sadism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
did not need to kill those guys in the feed store.
No.
Sexual fluidity. Not really. Men and men and women and women. In
I
this
don't
one.
really think so.
Yeah. Performing. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of singing in this.
Pets. There's a horse clock radio. I don't think there's any pets.
No pets.
Bathing suits. No.
No, I mean, you can almost argue that...
No, they have to be bathing suits.
Yeah,
It can't be
no.
underwear.
No.
Even if that's your bathing suit.
Yeah.
And actors' heads cut out of shot? Absolutely not.
I don't
David
think
Lynch
so.
would never frame that way.
So we got 11.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought we did. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it
Get
is.
more than that. Well, look, every time we quote unquote fail, we just show how unique Bingos Lanthimos is as a film director.
I don't think that's
And how he does
that
the same thing
bad.
every time.
How many squares is it again?
Out of 24.
Oh, so okay.
That's
So it's
sub
less than
50%,
half.
yeah.
Okay.
We didn't even mention Isabella Rossellini, and that's probably fine. She was in this, but it's okay.
But they dubbed her, like you said, like at least in
I
that
don't know
one
what was
scene.
going. Maybe just the sound was bad that day.
It was weird.
And then there was one scene between all this craziness, right? And Willem Dafoe's got little chiclet teeth, and Nick Cage and Laura Dern are screwing like rabbits. And there's one scene where Harry Dean Stanton is talking to Diane Ladd in this French restaurant, and we don't really know who he is, but he's a fixer, I guess. But they have a relationship, kind of, and they're kind of sweet on each other. And there's this scene that is nothing crazy happens. Nicolas Cage doesn't karate chop anybody. It's just a scene that kind of forwards the plot, but not really. It's just two characters talking about how worried they are about what's going on.
Yes.
And it's the best scene in the movie.
Oh, you
the
think
acting
so?
is so natural, and it's so Diane Lane is so good, and Harry Dean Stanton is.
He's great.
And he doesn't even. He's not like a character actor. He just does that.
Yeah.
But he's just so honest and good that, yeah, that was my favorite scene.
Wow.
It was the best acting.
Yeah. Well, it was really well done, I think, you know, and like, I liked too how he he was afraid and concerned that Santos was involved, and she lied and said, "Oh no, why would you think I would do that behind your back?" And he believes her because he wants to believe her.
Of course.
Yeah. So I thought that was really good.
Would you recommend it?
Absolutely, yes.
Me too.
I thought
That's
it was
a
really good.
double cigarette recommendation from us.
Oh my god.
I like that scene when she tells him that she's pregnant and he's like, lights 2 cigarettes, but like he's going to give one to her, but then he just smokes
keeps
them. I need 2 cigarettes for this one.
And then we see him later because he's back in jail and he's smoking 2 cigarettes
yeah, maybe
again.
he just does that now.
Yeah, right. That's his thing now.
Scary cowboys are a thing in Lynch's films too.
Yeah.
Who were the people who were just kind of stalking him when they were at the hotel in Big Tuna?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that they were just, what I got from that scene was that there were just a lot of weird people staying in that hotel who were kind of shady but were not necessarily connected to each other.
Yeah.
And recognized that maybe he might be trouble or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then they were giving him the stare down. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
David Lynch just likes scary cowboys.
I think
and so he put
that's
one
true
in there.
too. Also, they were in Texas, right? So, I mean, if you're going to have a scary cowboy, have him be, somewhere
Like the
out
scary
west.
cowboy in Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, well.
It's like, sometimes there's a cart. How many drivers does a cart have? 1. That's right.
I know.
So if I drive, you can come along with me.
Oh my God. I don't think I when we just rewatched that not that long ago for COVideos, I don't think I breathed during that scene.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to see Justin Theroux get killed because he's Justin Theroux. But
Well, I know he's a prick. But like you feel like this guy is like in imminent danger here, and like you have no idea what this cowboy guy is gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe he's not really that threatening, but he just comes off that way.
Well, he doesn't. You don't have to be big or have a gun or anything. But when you meet somebody or you make somebody meet you at night in a remote location, and
right?
you act strangely.
Yeah.
The guy's like, oh boy, I'm scared. I'm scared of this weird guy. Well, it's really good. The first 2/3 of it are my favorite David Lynch movie. I think the ending kind of falls apart, and I definitely cut 10 minutes out of it. But The Eagle Flies on Friday, I'll tell you that much. It's really good.
You're gonna
and
just
we
insert that into conversations
are a little
now.
over time, but it was worth it to talk about these great movies.
That's right.
I saw a video about when Inland Empire came out, which is another one that maybe we'll do for this because
It's on my list.
I saw it, but I don't remember anything from it.
Maybe I'll put it on my
very
short
weird,
list.
and it's shot on video, and also has Justin Theroux in it, I think. And it was not. He wanted to make a movie cheap, and he couldn't. He got it done, but he couldn't afford to raise an Oscar campaign for Laura Dern, because she's the main character, and he thought she was good.
Yeah.
So instead, he just went on Sepulveda and some Hollywood or something, and sat in a director's chair with a cow and a big poster board that said vote for Laura Dern for Best Actress. That was his Melissa Leo consider.
Wow.
And he would just talk. People come up and he'd just talk to him and be like, "Yeah, I'm doing this because I can't afford an Oscar campaign, but you should see Inland Empire because Laura Dern is the best." So
It's actually kind of sweet.
I think he's a real nice guy. All right, well, that's it. We'll be back sometime soon to do this all over again.
Yes.
And until then, we're signing off, and we don't have a sign-off.
No, we don't have an
No
intro,
no sign-off.
sign-off. That's our deal.
Stay healthy, stay safe, wear a mask.
Got a hold of me too. I got a